So we're recording now. All right. Hi, YouTube. This is Health Coach Karen, and I'm speaking with my friend Reamie Tabin. And we usually talk every week just about life in general and how we're doing. And we're both entrepreneurs pursuing health and wellness endeavors. And I'm sort of like a new entrepreneur, and I'm building up my clientele and doing my best to be a good health coach. And yeah, I guess this is part of our journey into just showcasing ourselves and showcasing our knowledge and like what we can offer to the world. So yeah, and I don't want to treat this like a talk show and be like, so my guest today is Reamie. But yeah, I'd like to introduce you to my friend Reamie. Can you tell us about yourself?
Hi, YouTube. My name is Reamie, and I am very excited to go on this live call with my good friend Karen. I have been so looking forward to this. I think it's quite exciting actually to go on live, especially on YouTube and to the world, because I'm a very shy person, and this is a huge step. And I think when you become vulnerable and transparent to the world, um, you shine your light a little bit brighter, and people get to know you a lot more, and know who you truly are and what you're here for. So I'm really excited. I'm just a little bit of my background. I have quite a few backgrounds actually. I'm an entrepreneur. I own a couple businesses, and now I'm focusing on health and wellness. And I help people overcome limiting beliefs and heal with any physical, emotional, mental um, situations or things that they're ready to release in their life in order to live a healthier, happier, vibrant them. So.
That's great. And I just want to say that like in the past conversations that you and I have had, I find that like I always get like little tidbits of wisdom, or like not even little, just wisdom. So I think it was like a good idea that this like came up kind of organically in our past conversations where we were like, yeah, like we should really put ourselves out there and like start recording these conversations. I don't know. Um, just everything you said is resonant with me. And it's not a bad thing. I guess like part of our responsibility is to share our knowledge and ourselves with the rest of the world in whatever way we can. So I think this is a good step for us. And yeah, and it doesn't have to be perfect. So I guess like if you're a person who hasn't seen my own channel, I am a coach, a health coach, and I go by the name Health Coach Karen. And I have this niche of perfectionists who are self-aware. So if you're a person who wants to become a healthier version of themselves, I would help you, guide you, support you, and hold you accountable to the things that you want to create for yourself, particularly habits that help health, and to not have to get it perfect and not have to get it like all in the right way that you believe is the right. Um, and I myself am a self-aware perfectionist, and I do my best to live out as an example for other self-aware perfectionists who want to create their best version of themselves. So I think Reamie and I share a lot of similarities in that we're both like into the idea of you can become just like I don't want to say better, like as
Yeah,
if
way better.
the
Yeah.
person you are right now. Yeah. But
Better.
yeah, like for lack of a better word, a better version of yourself.
Yeah.
So yeah, thanks. Thanks, Reamie.
Welcome.
Um, Yeah, and like I feel like we've never had I have never had a conversation that's been recorded. So there's a part of me that feels kind of like I have to speak so right now I can't like get the words wrong. Um, but I mean, Reamie, can I just call you Tiny? So
Yeah. So yeah,
uh,
just a little bit of background because Kim and I have known each other for since we were little. Actually, our
yeah.
moms went to college together to be nurses. So
Mhm.
ironically, how we turned out was we grew up, we kind of chose the path of non-medical backgrounds. We were both into in arts essentially, and we pursued artistic endeavors and and things shifted and we found our way back into more of the holistic side of health and wellness. So yeah, so it's ironic how we grew up following our moms who are nurses and worked in westernized medicine and hospitals, and now we're both following that same path but just different, our own different journeys. And so yeah, and as a kid they've always called me Tiny, so if y'all get confused, Reamie and Tiny, yes, they are the same person. So
Yeah, yeah. So I'll just be calling you Tiny because that's how I know you since like childhood.
yeah.
So yeah, and sometimes I'll interchange it with Reamie, like just to I don't know, just to mix it up. I don't know, but yeah. So now that like we've like introduced ourselves, like I don't really know. I don't really know what to talk about exactly because so there's a part of me that feels like I'm on the spot and I don't know. I feel like I'm on the spot.
Well,
But yeah.
this whole week has been, there's every week there tends to be a certain
Oh,
theme.
sorry. I think you're I don't know, like I can hear you, but it's not very like the like your voice is kind of like jumbled. Could you say that again?
Can you hear me now? Is that
Yeah.
better?
A little bit. It's like almost like computerized.
Uh,
Um
oh, okay. All right. Let me try my best. I'm somewhere in my house where I'm in my office, so my office is in the very back where it's kind of away from the noise, but yet at the same time, it's sometimes the connection here is a little bit jumbled. So I'll try my best. So let me know if you can or cannot hear me.
okay. Yeah, and sometimes I hear that like when you have like a very high vibration, like technology gets like a little wonky.
Yeah, it
So
does.
sometimes, and I've noted that too, like with like our conversations, like on the phone, that like sometimes it'll get like garbled, probably when like energy is high and like emotions are high, and
Mhm.
yeah, maybe that's just like an intro, or not an intro, but like sort of like a peek into like what we are interested in and like what we usually talk about. Like we tend to talk about like I guess like high and low vibrations and how that relates to like health and wellness and particularly holistic medicines.
Can you hear me, Karen?
Yeah, I can totally hear you like very clearly now.
Okay. All right, because it's I lost you there for a second.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, hopefully, like the recording um, records.
Okay.
Yeah, but what I was just a second ago was about like the concept of like high vibration or like low vibration, and um, I don't really know exactly how to like describe or define what vibrations are, but um, I know that they're like energy that we all have. And if you have like a high vibrational state, um, you know, you tend to be happy, and then the people around you are like affected. And like, you know, like when you hear about, you know, somebody walking into a room and you light up the whole room, that's like a notion of a high vibrational person. And I was just saying that, like, when a high vibrational person is using technology, sometimes the technology can get like a little wonky.
Yeah.
So that's what I was like thinking about when I couldn't quite hear you through the Google Hangout recording.
Yeah. So yeah, that you're right. Yeah. What happens with when the body, we're all cells and we all vibrate a certain frequency, and each, depending on what on your mood and your emotional statuses, each one has a certain number of like measured frequency. And so love is measured at 500. And
Oh, oh, there's like numbers.
there's actual numbers, and then there's, you know, there's, and the lower you go, as far as like anger, sadness, depression, and so forth, the lower the number. So even fear and so forth. So your emotional state of being has a lot to do with your vibrational frequency. And so when you are sad, obviously your frequency, your vibration is low. And so what is needed is you have to raise that vibration in order to feel a lot better, to change that frequency, to move out of that frequency um, into a higher number. And so when we're when our bodies are vibrating at a higher frequency, that means we are healing a lot faster. Our bodies heal at a higher rate, when a quicker rate, when our frequency is at a higher rate. And
Oh, wow.
and so we're all vibration, we're all energy. And so we're like, humans are, the cells in our body are just like light bulbs. So when the energy is low, the light is dim on a light bulb, but the higher the wattage, the brighter it is. And so that's the same thing with the cells in the human body. So the lower the energy, the dimmer the we are. Dim means like if you're depressed, sad, angry, all low energy um, frequencies. And then when you uplift and you change your frequency to a higher vibration, as in forgiveness, compassion, love, understanding, that raises that increases your energy, which makes you
Mhm.
brighter. And so that's where it all ties into with frequency and vibration. And it's all in our cells. Our cells are like light bulbs, you know,
Mhm.
because we're all energy. So
And something that I like is that, you know, as like a conscious, you know, as a being with a consciousness and an ability to think, you can think and choose specific thoughts that change your mood, therefore change your vibration. You know, you can like choose to think a more positive thought, or do a reframe, or like choose an activity that you enjoy, or like a piece of music that you love and to listen to it at a high volume, and that changes your vibration. And this is something that I must remind myself often, is that I can choose my thoughts. And so like ultimately my vibration will be higher, and I'll be able to like heal my body. Because I think another thing about like my own practice is that I have this like sense of like I should be better than I am right now, and therefore like my niche really works for me. Like this perfectionistic mentality that I have is something that I deal with like almost on a daily basis. I think on a daily basis actually. And I forgot where I was going with that, but like I think just that being able to choose my thoughts and knowing that I can, and like knowing that I can choose like a more serving thought can change my vibration and help me like be more accepting and be more like more of like a self-loving person, and therefore higher in vibration. Not necessarily like ecstatic, joyful, happy, but I think like if you can go from like, you know, a certain number to like one digit higher, that's better than not, you
Absolutely.
know, or even, but yeah, like I love that you have an expertise in this, Tiny, just because this is something that I'm interested in, but I don't know a whole lot, like the concept of like vibrations and energy. Like I know it's like from an ancient, um, like it has an ancient background. Like this goes back super far, farther than like our like medical sort of Western mentality when it comes to healing. But yeah, you know a whole lot more about it than I do.
Well, the healing has been whole healing has been uh, done for a very long time. I mean, it goes back to um the cry Jesus Christ and all that stuff, and I don't want to segue into any religious talk here. We want to keep it very open. But if it, this has been going on, holistic healing has been going on for a very, very long time. Even back then, during Jesus' time, they didn't have the technology, but how did people always wondered how did Jesus heal people with just his
Mm-hmm.
um and why are the how did they manage to survive without medicine? They had herbs and they had oils and they had all of that, and people did heal, and it's through and it's because there's a certain practice, there's a certain part of us that we're not aware of or that we're not in tune to, but when we are awakened and we become aware of what's really going on, then we see that everything is energy, everything around us, even from the chair that you're sitting on and the cup that you're holding onto even the phone, the computers that we have, they're all energy. So the they all give off a certain frequency. And so if you think of a ceiling fan, if you set it on low, it spins low and you see the blades a little bit. And so the faster it goes, the less you see the blades, and you see almost like it is you can't see the individual blades, but you can feel the energy moving. You can feel that
Mm-hmm.
you can feel the air moving around you, but you can't see it. So there's even energy is from everything that we can see with our naked eye up to things that we can't see because they're just certain things are just vibrating at a very high frequency that we can't see them. It's just moving really, really, really fast. And
Mm-hmm.
so, everything is, like I said, everything is energy. Everything gives us a certain frequency. And, and so and it all comes back to just finding, um, it starts within you. Actually, the healing starts within you. And so when you even set the intention
Mm-hmm.
of I'm going to heal, the healing starts. And so when you give off that thought, your thoughts create your reality, your thoughts create
Mm-hmm.
the world. And so when you start thinking I'm going to heal, then your body will become accustomed to it, and that frequency that you give out is what you will receive back. And so um, even the intent of healing comes into mind, then the healing begins. And then when you add in the actual work, as far as physical work, mental work, and all the other aspects of healing, and that come into play in all different fields, whether it's taking um, medications to help you with manage pain, meditating, using essential oils, um, finding a mentor to guide you. those are all part of healing, the healing process. And so you want to be open to all forms. And
Oh,
so get that going, your healing process goes a lot faster. Um,
mhm,
the more you do, the more energy you put into you, the energy of healing, the quicker you you heal from whatever it is that you are freeing yourself of, whether it's physical pain, mental pain, or spiritual pain or discomfort.
mhm.
So,
I have a question about kind of like what you were talking about, um, like setting this intention about like healing yourself. Like when you say that I'm going to heal, um, I have had a couple of like times of uh, examples of that, like that I just remembered. And there was a time where I had like very bad acne. It was like I was like all over my face. And I remember telling myself like I'm gonna do everything I can possibly do to like be rid of this acne. And I think I went through a very dark path. Like I started like getting more and more strict with my eating, and I restricted so many foods that I was like not happy anymore. And I think I even lowered my vibration because like the joy in my life um, had become a lot less. Like I was very strict on myself when it came to the foods that I ate. I was eating like only like organic fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds. And I was trying to like do everything raw, like a raw vegan. And it was like very difficult for me to like digest. And I was also like doing this thing where I would wake up extremely early because I believed that like waking up early to do all these like what I would do is I would go to the gym and I would work out like 3 days a week very regimentedly at a very certain time. And I would like have like these rituals of like, okay, I'm gonna watch these like positive videos while I get ready for the gym, and I'll make like this like organic protein shake before I go, and then I'll make a second one for when I get home afterward. And I think the way I lived my life was so constricted, but at the same time, I had this mentality of like, yes, what I'm doing is right. And even though I feel like I'm suffering, it's gonna be like all paid off in the end. And like with the sick irony is that like, you know, like 2 years went by and like my acne went from bad to worse, and I broke out in like all over body eczema. I'm not really sure like what my question for you would be, but like could you, I don't know, from like my story, like could you feel anything that was going on with me? Because I think I had this like almost desperate um like intention. Like it was an intention for like, yeah, it was more of an intention from this.
so when, well, great question, actually. Thank you for sharing that. Because what that's a great example of wanting something so bad. When you want something so bad, you're in resistance to something because there should, if you want, if what
I
it
think
is,
that's I think that's
whatever desire desires you back. And so things, whatever you want, it comes naturally, it comes with ease, and it comes with grace. But when there's too much when you put too much effort where it becomes a struggle, then that's where the stress comes in, that's where the discomfort comes in, because there's no joy. Even even though you chose to eat organic and food and work out 3 days a week, you're doing that physically, but emotionally, if you weren't emotionally in a happy state of wellness, um, then everything that you were doing, eating healthy, working out, made the situation worse, because there was no joy. Like your emotions always plays a big role in your well-being. If somewhere deep down, you're doing that because of maybe stress, or trying to hold on for control, or try to be like, I think, hello, can you hear me?
Sorry, we and to my computer, it just like disconnected.
Oh, it's
But were you still able to see like the screen, or did it kick you off out as well?
it just said you went off the air, or you left the conversation, so I hung up. So
Oh, okay.
just in case you wanted to start all over again or reconnect, I didn't want to. Not sure. This
Oh,
is
that's okay.
my first time being on Google Hangout there.
Oh
Oh,
man, this is the first time I've recorded it, so I don't really know how the process goes. But this is a good like learning opportunity, and I'm
yeah.
glad that I can see you now because earlier it was like just an icon. So
Oh, okay. Yeah, and that's showing an icon for me.
yeah, I felt like it cut off. Oh yeah. Oh, on my it's showing, so that's good at least.
Okay.
But we're still broadcasting, still recording, so hopefully it records everything. Um, but earlier, before the cutoff, I think I would your thought on like what I was, I guess like my story and like wanting things like so bad that I I resist them.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So, so when you want something so bad, you're in resistance to something, because um, so if it's something that you desire, it'll come to you naturally. Whatever you desire desires you back. So if you're open to receiving whatever it is that you desire, healthy skin,
Mm.
feeling, healthy body, um, the things, that whatever you're intended to receive should come easily. Um, but if you're resisting something, it could be emotionally, physically, mentally, then you're being blocked. And then so there's always this conflict between you and whatever it is that you want, whatever it is that you desire. And so it could, um, so that's where and that's where sometimes you find people will find struggle in whatever it is that they're doing, because there's always resistance. um,
Mhm.
so there is struggle, find the joy in the struggle. So um, maybe you were depriving yourself from what you really wanted, instead of eating the organic, maybe at that organic, I don't know, salad, what you really wanted at that time was a burger and French fries to really make you feel better. But but you were ignoring your feelings and going with what you thought would be right. Um, and and in actuality, your feelings are always right. So if you're feeling a certain way, whether it's happy, sad, angry, whatever whatever feeling that you have, it's telling you how it's you, that's natural. And if you can't accept that, then that's where it gets buried inside. The more you bury your feelings, um, they become emotions. And when those emotions get buried, your body becomes at a discomfort because it's not going out. Your feelings are just as natural as your thought. They should go in and out. And if you hold in your feelings, don't allow yourself to indulge or to or to take in what it is that your emotions need, then it just
Mm-hmm.
comes up over and over all the way to, and it could stem from your childhood, it could stem from even before you were born. And so when when these emotions get buried and pent up, your body becomes at a discomfort or dis-ease, and you illnesses, that's where illnesses and diseases come from. People get sick, they get colds, they break out in hives, they break out in eczemas, and and or get sick because their body is at discomfort. So
Mm-hmm.
um whatever, so your emotions always affect your physical state of well-being.
So how is it that like say that you feel a certain emotion, but you believe there's no reason way. Feel an emotion that I'll label as like it's a to be angry. I shouldn't be sad about this one thing. Um, like what would you advise? I guess, or what would you like? I guess, like what would your like I was gonna say reaction, but like, what are your thoughts on like this feeling of like, oh, it's not okay to feel blank, and because in your mind or in my mind, it's not okay to feel like what's the best approach to a person who has a mentality like that? Because I think I do have like that at work. And it's not an appropriate environment to be angry at work or to express my anger. I can't just like throw a cup across the office. Well, maybe it would be. I don't know. What are your thoughts?
Well, good question. Well, when there's this there when you create a state of separation, separate emotions, like it's if your thoughts are good, that means if you think happy thoughts and you're always good, that means it's acceptable. And when you feel a negative way, that it's not acceptable. And so you're creating a separation within yourself. And so that's where the struggle and discomfort is because you're not accepting that part of you that makes you whole. And so there's always, where life is duality, the good, the bad, dark, light, salty, sweet, but you indulge in all of it all at once because it's part of life. And if you can't embrace that other part of you, that's where the struggle is. So it is okay if you're angry, it is okay to
Mm-hmm.
feel angry. And 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 then you have a choice. It's you that has a choice how long you want to stay in that anger. You can stay in that anger for 30 seconds. You can stay in that anger for 8 hours, but it's really up to you because you are in control of your thoughts and emotions. And by becoming aware of that
Mm.
is the first step of healing. By becoming aware of my thoughts create my reality,
Mm.
I am in dominion of my life, I'm in dominion of what is going on, then that's where healing comes in. That's when you're able to manage your stress more easily, your anger easily. You're able to, when you become aware of why you're angry, then you can heal whatever that situation is right then and there a lot more quickly um, than before, because you are aware of why you're
Mm-hmm.
what's
And ignoring it.
yeah, than ignoring it. And the best way to do is, step out. Like my suggestion, I like the thought of, you know, taking a pause. If you feel a certain way, you have
Mm-hmm.
to acknowledge it. Give it a voice. Take a pause and then decide what you want to do with it. You can either sit in the anger the whole time, or you can choose to give yourself some grace and forgive yourself for feeling that way, because that's just how you were feeling at that time, and then let it go, and then go back in and look, take it at a different angle. So, and it's so simple, and the key
Mm-hmm.
thing is just coming, the first thing is awareness. Awareness, being aware that there is this duality that you live in, and it's a part of you, and it's who you are. Accept the good and the bad, because it makes you you. The
Yeah.
so the imperfect and the perfect make you whole. So, and that's what makes you perfect. When you're perfect, healthy, and whole, meaning you accept every single part of yourself, even
Ooh,
things that you,
I love that.
because that's what makes you who you are. And by accepting the things that you don't like about
Mhm.
yourself, then you're able to look at it and make that change
Mhm.
to to be rid of whatever that is that you don't like. You, because you can sit there all day and say, I don't like this, I don't like that, I don't like this. Well, this is not good enough. So what can you do? You can sit there and complain about it all day, or you can choose to change your thought process, look at it in a more brighter sense, and and
Mhm.
and become aware of why. You know, like, first thing,
Mhm.
yes, and being aware that your thoughts create your world, and acknowledging, giving everything a voice, giving your feelings, your emotions a voice, taking a pause, and then deciding what you want to do with those emotions.
When you say giving your emotions a voice, like being like to how you're feeling, and then asking, I guess, like that feeling within, like, say your body, like if it could speak, like what would the message be? Something like that before. Like I remember telling an old friend of mine, like, I wish I didn't have this acne, and it's really, and like I've been doing everything I could for years. It asked me, if your body could talk, or if your acne could talk to you, what would the message be from that acne? And immediately in my mind, just told me to like chill out. And I think that's what I needed in most of my life. It was to just stop taking control of everything, and just to like find a way to chill and to like take out as many stressors from my life as I possibly could. And I still like, it seems to me that I know it's like fall back. I believe in like everyone is ever expanding. Like everything that you've learned yesterday is going to be a part of you today. So like I've learned a lot from my own journey, but sometimes I feel like I slip back into like this mentality that I used to have. Like I'm not doing enough, and I need to start exercising and like wake up early again. And I don't know. And I guess I don't need to know. Um, but I was gonna ask you a question, but I forgot what it was. Um,
See ya.
but yeah, huh?
But yeah.
But yeah. Anyway, well, what are your thoughts on?
Okay, repeat that. I can't hear you when it's what are my thoughts on? I think there's a lag.
Your body, or just allow your emotions to be authentic. Because Tiny, are you there?
Yes, I'm sorry. The connection was muffled. Can you repeat that again? I'm so sorry.
Oh, that's okay. Yeah, I feel like our connection's a little wonky. Like my internet's not all that great either. But I just had the question of what was it? Like sometimes I feel like I need reminding that I sometimes just need to listen to my body and do as how I'm feeling. Let my emotions and my body give me instruction of like how to operate. Like if I'm say my body is tired, that obviously means I need to like go chill out or like find ways to relax or like just take a nap or like go to bed early or like allow myself to sleep in. But I often forget that. So I guess like my question was like, what do you do when you forget things like that?
Well, the first thing is
Well,
to
the first thing is to
stay grounded. Take time to breathe in between whatever you I know
oh,
everyone's well is so when you're so caught up with day-to-day task that you forget to breathe. Breathing is part
mm,
of helping you ground and stay present. And
oh, I love
so take time to really pause in between your tasks, even at work, before jumping into the next task. Take a few seconds to take some deep breaths in
mm,
to yourself to regroup and ground yourself so you are present with whatever it is that you're doing. And so when we become on when we take on go on autopilot, we're not aware of what our body needs and what's going on around us, and we're just on this like, this hamster wheel, just going and going and going and going to the point where it's like you stop and you're exhausted and you don't know what went on. And so yeah, so always taking a pause in between tasks and breathing and grounding, and um so you are aware of what your body is telling you need. Because your body is a very smart machine. It's an intelligent machine that speaks on a higher level than what we can all what most some of us can imagine. I mean, it heals itself naturally. And so it knows, your body knows exactly what it needs. And your job is to just listen to it and be present, by staying grounded
yeah.
and becoming aware.
I remember when my sister was first pregnant, she said one of I forgot who was talking to her, but she said that it was like dealing with her pregnancy. Like he or she said that like her body knows more than her mind knows, and
Mhm.
so like to listen to who's pregnant, like knew more. And I guess like pregnant or not pregnant, like your body knows so much more than your brain knows.
Oh, absolutely. Your brain is the least intelligent muscle in your body.
That's so funny. Yeah,
It
oftentimes I'm like, I need to consult. There was like one time I was just like thinking to myself, I was like, you know what, I think I just need to consult my gut and my heart before I consult my brain. And if like my gut and my heart like agree on one thing and my brain disagrees, like I think I still have to go like with the overruled like rule of like my gut and my heart are in consensus, so I should just go ahead and like
yeah.
do whatever they're pushing me to do. Yeah, that's so funny that you say like the brain is the least. What did you
Well,
say? The
where the ego lies in the brain, and your heart, your what your heart desires is what you truly need, even if it feels scary or or uncomfortable. Those are the feeling of of fear or uncertainty comes from the brain. That's comes from the head or the ego. The ego keeps you safe, but the heart um gives you that drive to push yourself beyond your limits. And so
Mhm.
they are the ego is neither good nor bad. It's there to help you. It has a purpose. That's why we have it. Um, but essentially you have to overcome those fears. And so what your heart's desire is what you truly need in order um, to live in a more healthier life. Like the like there's four things in life that you really need to feel vibrant and feel like success in all levels, which is your health,
Mhm.
wealth, love, and um, self-expression. And that's those four elements create total happiness. And
Wow, I
yeah,
love that.
so
Like, yeah, go on.
no, go ahead.
Oh, I was gonna say, like, when you said about those four things that like are like the most to your life, it reminded me of something that I learned from my health coaching school, IIN, and they talk about primary food, which is food that doesn't come on a plate. It's like these things in life that nourish out like physically, but they feed you emotionally, mentally, and like even physically. Like and those four that I've learned: relationships, career, exercise, and spirituality. And like when those four things are like in their fullest volume for you, um, like the notion of like having like eat something is a whole lot less. You know, like we think less about food when like we're having a job that we absolutely love, or and like we have like all our relationships are like really like good relationships where you can be yourself and they can be themselves and you can feel the love between each other. And when you're exercising in the wet, you enjoy every moment of that exercise and have this spiritual connection where you feel like there's like a higher power and you feel like really well connected with it. So like when all those four things are just like in their maximum capacity for you, um, like and that's when you're the healthiest because you're the happiest.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
And I think
and
your four things. Oh,
what's
go
that?
on. Sorry,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna say that your four things and my four things, they sound like so in conjunction. So
Yeah,
that was kind of
the same. Like it's just different. It's almost like different language or different, but same exact thing. Like you need those four pillars in order to achieve happiness. When there's joy, joy brings you life. Happiness, joy brings you life. If you don't have that, then there's no life. Um, if you think about it, and if one of those things are off balance, then fill it up. Figure out why it's fill that void with those things, whatever wherever it is that's unbalanced, whether it's in your career, your love, your relationship, or your health, where it's and that's where someone like you comes in and helps people find out where the imbalance is, um, so they can fill that void with whatever they need to achieve ultimate happiness, optimum.
yeah.
So
Yeah, I believe that health and happiness are so intertwined. Like the happier you are in like, you know, as many aspects of life that you can feel happiness toward, um, I guess that person, that type of person tends to be so much healthier. And yeah, I feel like health and happiness, they're just like almost one and the same. The healthier you are, um, or I guess the happier you are, the healthier you can be and are. But yeah, I don't want this to run on too long. I think we've been talking about almost an hour now.
oh,
So maybe, yeah, I know it flew by, right? Because I feel like when I talk to you, time flies. You know, we're in flow and like there's some like everything that you say, there's like millions of possibilities of how I can respond because like there are different parts that I want to respond to. Like when you were talking about the ego, and maybe we can talk about that the next time we do a recording. Just because like I like the concept of the ego and that like it's not a bad thing. it's kind of like this protective thing that every human being is born with, and kind of keeps us safe, but also keeps us like in our comfort zones, like
Yes.
a little too much. Yeah, or like it can even shrink our comfort zone. So like I would like to talk about the ego the next time we do a recording. But
Yes,
yeah,
definitely. It will be the next topic of our conversation, will be the
yeah,
ego.
definitely. Cool. All right. Well, I think I'm ready to post this. Like, if that's cool with you.
All right.
Yeah, we'll see what happens.
All right. Well, thank you so much. It was great talking to
Yeah.
you. I hope everyone enjoyed our conversation, and I
Same here.
look to our next talk.
Okay. Yeah, definitely. And maybe even after this, I'll chit chat with you a little bit more off air.
Absolutely.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks again, Tiny, also named Reamie.
Oh,
But
Karen.
yeah. Huh?
Thank you, Karen, for having me on your
Oh,
YouTube
awesome.
channel. That was so much fun. I can't wait to do it
Yeah, I
again.
know. Same here. All right. Well, I'll chat with you later. And thanks, YouTube, for sharing this conversation or taking in this conversation between me and Tiny.
All right.
Hope you all right. Chat with you later.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Bye.